It took me 5 years to break 5 hours in a marathon. And then I went down to 3:19 at age 22. And then in my mid-20s, I went backwards and went to like a 4-hour marathon. And so the common denominator is that I didn't like do running only to perform, like to win, but I actually really enjoyed just the experience of movement, the runner's high. I still get that.
Harvey Lewis is a high school teacher and elite ultra runner. He's a legend in the running community. Harvey's known for winning some of the world's most brutal ultra marathons, racing for days at a time with little food and almost no sleep. Over his 20-year ultra career, Harvey has never stopped pushing himself. He loves looking for new ways to improve, whether that means commuting by foot to get in his training miles or working out in a sauna to mimic the hot, dry environment of Death Valley. What really sets Harvey apart, though, is his sense of joy and his positive mindset. These qualities have helped him through plenty of tough moments on the trail. I'm Shelby Stanger, and this is Wild Ideas Worth Living, an REI Co-op Studios production presented by Capital One and the REI Co-op MasterCard. Harvey Lewis, welcome to Wild Ideas Worth Living. You have a record for some of the most wild ideas around.
I'm happy to be here, and I love wild ideas.
I know. So where are you right now? Because you're in like a tie and a dress shirt.
I have a couple of different modes, and one of my modes is my teaching mode. So I'm at my school here in Cincinnati, downtown, and I teach juniors and seniors American government and financial literacy. In addition to that, I do a lot of running adventures and other things. Today we've had a lot of snow in Cincinnati. It's been like actually the most snow we've had in probably 25 years. So people are having a hard time getting to work this morning, but I run back and forth to work every day. It's about 3 miles, and it's one of the things I love doing.
There's not many teachers who run 3 miles in the snow to class. And, you're in a dress shirt that is like crisp and pressed with a tie on right now. So do you leave a change of clothes in the classroom, and then do you run home? Walk me through this a little bit.
Yeah, so actually I have like a run commute backpack, and I basically put my like suit or whatever I'm wearing inside like a Kroger bag inside that backpack. So it's really simple, and I just run to school. It's only 3 miles. There are some days where I might run like 10 miles in the morning or 10 miles on the way back, just because I'm training at a higher level, building up to a race. But 2 nights ago, I was running, and I get this sales call, and I answer it. How are you? I'm good. I'm out running in the snow, in the dark. And they said, well, they're calling from a certain car insurance company, and I said, I'm good. I don't need any car insurance. I run back and forth to work every day. And the guy, he's a liar. It's 2025. It was pretty funny. I had to laugh about it because
I love that you engage with the salesman too, like the spam caller.
Yeah, it's very funny. So yeah, people do run in 2025 back and forth to work. Yeah, it really does happen.
Sounds incredible. Did you always know you wanted to become a teacher?
Not at all. In fact, I went to school. First year was international relations. I really love things involving like travel, and then I went to Minnesota, and I studied my undergraduate degree in political science. And then I was actually in sales, in car sales, for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I really just wasn't drawn to it in terms of like thinking about my next 20, 30 years. And I decided to go back to school and to pursue education. So I'm so glad I did, because when I was in high school and middle school and before that, I was the least likely student to ever become a teacher, because I gave my poor teacher so much harassment, and I was absolutely not a dedicated student until my junior year of high school. I skated by with like D's, some C's, a couple F's. So for me now, it does give me some advantage in terms of like being able to empathize and relate to students that may be struggling academically.
While he was in high school, Harvey struggled with his grades, but things started to change when his sister introduced him to running. Harvey joined his school's track team and he fell in love with the sport. Even though the most he'd ever run at practice was 8 miles, it wasn't long before Harvey set his sights on running something much longer.
I'd heard about the Cleveland Marathon, and it was happening in about a week. And I told my mom, I want to run the Cleveland Marathon. And the best thing about my mother is she would always be agreeable to try new things. I mean, I know a lot of people would say, like, that is absolutely insane. You're not going to run the marathon. She's like, okay, we'll sign you up.
So you'd only run 8 miles?
Only run 8 miles. I was like 15 at the time. And my mother had to work that weekend anyways. She was a nurse. And so I took like the train down from like Berea, where I live, which was a suburb, down to like Cleveland, which seemed like this New York-sized city for me at the time because I didn't have a lot of like experience in the city. And the marathon was such a treasure because I was nearly the last person to finish. You know, it's all about a matter of like how much you're willing to apply. If you're willing to give an incredible amount of work ethic, there's very few things that you can't achieve in this world.
So that was your first marathon, but what was your first ultra?
So fast forward it to my like sophomore year of college, and I had a lot of things on my plate. I was a poor college student with no opportunity to like, fly to Kenya to climb a mountain or even go up to like Eagle Mountain, the tallest mountain in Minnesota. So I was looking for something to push myself sort of spiritually, physically, mentally. And I thought, I should sign up for that 24-hour race. Why not? Let's just do it. So that's what I did. I signed up for it. And again, it was at that moment in time, my goal was to just survive and like keep moving the whole time. I didn't know how many miles that would take me. And then what happened in that event, like the last hour, I felt this incredible surge of energy. And I was inspired by the other people I was watching there. And I felt in the last like 40, 30 minutes, more energy than I felt the whole race. And I started running really fast. And I made it like to the finish in 81.3 miles. And that was like 3.5 times further than I ever ran before. So I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was humanly possible to do that.
You didn't run for the college team, did you?
No, I did not. And, that's it's kind of a wild thing because, you have such incredible runners that come out of, who are running in college and also come out of their collegiate careers. And, I was not a competitive runner in high school. Like I never scored for the team. And then I ran when I was in college just with training for like this 24-hour race. And I've just somehow miraculously been able to get stronger and stronger each year and each decade.
Today, Harvey is one of the most impressive ultra runners in the world. But for the first 15 years of his career, he considered himself pretty mediocre. Many of us give up on things we're not naturally good at, especially if we work at it for a while and we see no improvement. Nevertheless, there's power in sticking with what we love. Harvey's passion for running wasn't about performing well or even winning. He found joy in moving his body, taking in nature, and the challenge of it all. He competed in ultras whenever possible and gradually improved his form and his pace. Then one day, Harvey started winning.
I ran ultras from 1996 until 2010 before I won my first ultra. And that was in Canada. I ran a 100-mile race. And I started like really having like jumps forward. And so they talk about, sticking with your goals, sticking with something you dream about. What's important to you? I mean, you don't have to win the race. I could have fun if I was the last person to finish the race too. But it was wild because sometimes something you're working towards, it may take years or decades to materialize. And I never dreamed, even in 2010 when I won my first ultra, I would never imagine that it actually took me 25 years before I made the top 10 list of ultra runners of the year of North America. It was incredible that I was able to do that in my 40s.
We're making it sound like you had this trajectory from like age, 15 to 48, where you just keep going and going and going and improving and improving and improving. But I know 20 years ago, you had like a really big setback. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I broke my neck in 2004. And honestly, it was a near-death experience. So like the car spun off the road and my car rolled over 3 or 4 times. I like tried to kick out the glass of my vehicle, and like I kicked so hard and I couldn't break the glass from the inside. So now I actually carry a little tool that I can break the glass on my vehicle or someone else's vehicle, and I could cut the seatbelts if I need to. But I ended up upside down, finally got the seatbelt off, fell to the top of the vehicle, which was at the bottom at the time, and crawled out the rear glass. So I ended up, I didn't feel anything severe at that time. I mean, I heard my neck crack when I was rolling over, and I felt like a whiplash or something. But when the paramedics and the firefighters arrived, I was calm and I didn't act like I was in distress. So they actually gave me an opportunity to choose which of the 2 hospitals I went to, and I chose the one that doesn't typically deal with like trauma. And once I got there, the ER, they had me do the x-rays, and came back, I had fractured my 4th and 5th vertebrae. So I had to end up getting surgery the next day, titanium and added bones to my neck. And initially, like, I was just like, felt like a billionaire because, or more than that, because I was like thankful to be alive. And then it was a question like the night before the surgery, thinking like, will I survive? Like, they had said like, you have 5% chance that something may not go right here and you could be paralyzed or something else happen. So it's just having that moment where almost everything you have could be taken away, and then having it back again was just actually something that like is a fire that I couldn't describe, like in terms of like just gratitude and like wanting to go after it. So initially I walked back and forth to work. Like, believe it or not, like I was teaching summer school at the time. So I started walking back and forth. Like 2 or 3 days later, I know the first day I had to call my girlfriend. I was on the way back and I was like, I don't think I'll make it. But the next day I made it. And I also refused to take the pain medicine when they sent me home with this big giant jar of like horse Oxycontin pills. And like the first couple nights were really difficult. Like I was feeling a lot of discomfort. But what I found is motion is the lotion. So like the worst thing I found that you can do if you have some sort of pain, and there could be some exceptions to this, but is to just be static on the couch or the bed, because your body just gets so tight. But doing the little bit of walking really helps. So I had to do the walking for 2 months, and then I just got back into running. And after 3 months, I jumped into Columbus Marathon. I ran like 4 hours and 30 some minutes, which was like an hour and 20 minutes slower than my norm at that time. But then at that moment, I just kept on chiseling away. Like every day I was chiseling, just a little bit every day, clawing at that wall. And then after a year, I was able to get back to where I was previously. And that was super inspiring. I was like, wow, I made it back to where I was before. So then just kept on, I got into this routine of chiseling, so I wasn't going to stop chiseling then. So I just kept on clawing, chiseling away at that wall again. And then things just every year, like little bit more open up. And like miraculously, I didn't ever imagine that it would go to where it's gone, like, and where it continues to go, because it's not done yet. So that's a wild thing.
After his accident, Harvey made his health a priority. He adjusted his stride to help with knee pain. He eats a vegan diet, which helps him recover from big runs. And of course, he prioritizes sleep. This holistic approach has made a huge impact on Harvey's performance, allowing him to set some of the fastest ultra records in the world. It's that time of year again. REI's anniversary sale is May 16th through the 26th, and members with the REI Co-op MasterCard can earn rewards while they save. In fact, the card is the only way to earn rewards during the sale, and you can use those card rewards as soon as you earn them. Don't have a card yet? See if you're pre-approved for the REI Co-op MasterCard with no risk to your credit score. To learn more about the REI Co-op MasterCard program, go to rei.com/MasterCard-podcast. That's rei.com/MasterCard-podcast. Terms apply. Hey, you Wild Ideas adventurers! If you're looking to elevate your trail running game, you need to check out Teva's Avon Trail family at REI. Whether you prefer the airiness of a sandal or the support of a shoe, Avon Trail has you covered. The Avon Trail sandal combines the freedom of a sandal with the comfort and technical benefits of a trail running shoe. With its secure W strapping system made from 100% recycled materials, tiered lugs for confidence on technical terrain, and cushion hypercomf midsole technology, you'll feel like you're running on air. For those who prefer a more traditional trail running shoe, the Avon Trail shoe offers a laceless design for easy on and off, along with the same great features as the sandal. It's perfect for tackling off-road adventures with confidence. Johnny and I have been taking our Tevas on adventures for decades, and I personally can't wait to try the Avon Trail sandals on my local hikes and trail runs in San Diego this summer. They're the perfect blend of comfort, support, and breathability. Head into your local REI or to rei.com to check out Teva's Avon Trail shoes today. Hey, Wild Ideas listeners, I've got some exciting news to share. Wild Ideas is heading to Denver, Colorado with the REI crew from May 29th through June 1st for the Outside Festival. It's going to be an incredible weekend filled with good music, delicious food, outdoor activities, and inspiring conversations with some of the biggest names in the outdoor space. I'll be interviewing guests live on the Ideas stage and our very own Wild Ideas stage in REI's Camp Co-op. If you're at the festival, come by and say hi. And here's a special request. On Saturday, May 31st, I'll be interviewing professional climber Alex Honnold, and I want to ask him questions from our Wild Ideas listeners. If you have any questions for Alex, email them to podcasts@rei.com, and yours might be featured during the interview. That's podcasts@rei.com. Don't miss out on this amazing event. Grab your tickets today. We'll include a link in the show notes, and I'll see you in Denver. Ultra runner Harvey Lewis is a beast when it comes to running long distances. Perhaps most notably, Harvey has set the Guinness World Record for running the most laps in the Big's Backyard Ultra Marathon. From the name, the Big's Backyard might sound like a casual neighborhood race, but in reality, and for those who know, it's one of the most grueling ultramarathons in the world. Every hour, contestants run a 4.167-mile loop. Then they keep going until there's only one person standing. It's kind of like the Hunger Games of running. During the day, the route follows a trail through the woods, and at night, the course changes to a nearby dirt road. The race lasts for days, with runners sleeping and eating for mere minutes after they finish each lap. Often, by the time runners drop out of the race, they're pretty destroyed, covered in blisters, incredibly sleep-deprived, and often delirious. Harvey set his first record at Big's in 2021. 2 years later, he set a new record when he ran for 108 hours, logging 450 miles in 4 days. I want to talk about your wild records because you've set a couple, and most recently you broke the record for the second time, not just the first, for Big's Backyard Ultra. For those unfamiliar, Big's Backyard Ultra, maybe we could just talk about the details of this run for those who don't know. Like, what is it?
Yeah, Big's Backyard Ultra is just a wild race. It's captivated people in ways that we never expected. So I got to take you to a place in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, where you have this man who's just like looks like a mountain man. His name is Lazarus Lake.
Kind of looks like Santa in a way.
Kind of looks like Santa. He's got like a big giant beard. He's got the glasses. He wears a hat that says Geezer on it. And he always has like this red, black plaid shirt and typically jeans. But the Big's Backyard Ultra, you have to run 4.167 miles every hour on the hour. So if you run that 4.167 miles in less than 60 minutes, whatever time you have remaining, you have to sit down, eat some food, take a short nap. So, for example, if you finish the loop in 48 minutes, you have 12 minutes where you can just drink, eat food, put your feet up, stretch a little bit perhaps, take a short nap. And it was wild because I couldn't even sleep the first 3 nights. So it took me like to the 4th night and the 5th day to be able to sleep for like 1 minute. It's just like crazy. And then the whistle's going to blow and you have to go again.
So how do you sleep for 1 minute and like feel refreshed?
Well, I practice in my classroom. Yeah, at lunchtime. So and no one's in here. I have a yoga mat and I'll lay down for 5 minutes. And my goal is to try to fall asleep in that period, that time, just anywhere, anytime, just on a dime. You gotta fall asleep right now, go do it. And I got to the point where I could fall asleep just like that. I could just immediately fall asleep just practicing it. I really haven't mastered that though, because I still struggle with the sleep element, because I think it's my heart's elevated. My mind is I have a hard time slowing my mind down. And, so I'm still working on it.
Well, you're doing pretty good. So then how do you entertain yourself for 4.5 days of running?
Yeah, so the first day and a half to 2 days, I'm talking a lot to the other runners because we're running at a pace that's not so fast that we can't chat with each other. And that's a lot of fun. I try to memorize as many people's names as I can and get to know about the other people. And I've met some super fascinating people doing this backyard ultra. Everyone has a story. Really interesting, once you start talking to people. And then beyond that, in the evenings when you're on the road, you're allowed to listen to music. When you're on the trail, you're not allowed to, because you got to have people passing one another, at least for the first 3 or 4 days before when you're down to the last 3 or 4 people, they don't care if you have music on. But the music is powerful because I may be feeling a lot of discomfort. And if I have the music on, I can take my mind to a place where I don't feel discomfort. I can use the music to alleviate discomfort, which is it's pretty amazing.
After running every hour for 4 days straight, Harvey was exhausted. Somehow, he still had a little gas in the tank. While there had been hundreds of people at the starting line, on the last lap, it was down to just Harvey and one other competitor. Someone took a video of the two setting off from the starting line, and you can see Harvey put on his headphones and push forward, hobbling into a jog. On that 108th loop, his competitor dropped out of the race, but Harvey kept going, making him the winner of Big's Backyard Ultra. So that last day, what is going through your head and how are you surviving? What are you doing?
So during that period, I'm being as focused as a neurosurgeon. I'm really, really focused on details. So I don't have much time to work with because my body is operating at maximum capacity, and I'm At that moment in time, I was finishing the loops in like 55, 56 minutes, which is super tight because that means I only have like 4.5 minutes to get whatever I need to get and then get back up into the corral and start again. And there were 8 runners that made it to 400 miles, which is really amazing because at that time, that was already the record on the course. So it's super competitive amongst the 8. And then we got down to 3 of us. But then we got to the last couple loops. And I mean, I like had blood all over myself. I like had fallen down so many times. But I was like, I'm not going to stop. So I just keep on focused on like every single detail that I can manage in that 4.5 minutes. So I get to my crew member, Judd Poindexter. He is so good. He knew exactly what he had to do. Like I'd go lay down for like 1 minute. He'd time me. Like, okay, get up. I don't know how I survived like making it through that deprivation of sleep. But I'd have to I put ice on my body, on my head to try and cool myself because it was like temperature was in the mid 70s and your body has a harder time regulating temperature at that point. And I was just like drinking and eating as much as I humanly could in those last like minute and a half and then just hopping back up. And then it's like poker. You want to give the image that you don't want to show your cards. You want to give the image that you could go on forever.
What did you eat afterwards? Like, did you have a post-race meal that you looked forward to?
So honestly, like the funny thing about this is that actually, some runners might think about going to a hotel and like getting a shower or bath and all that stuff. Like I went directly back to my tent, which was about 20 yards from like the start and end place. And I just laid down and went to bed. Like, I don't even remember what I ate. Just grabbed whatever was near me. Like, I don't think I had like a giant meal then, but I know like my buddy Judd, like we woke up the next morning, he made this amazing breakfast. It was like bagels and avocado and maybe some tofu scramble. And it was like the best meal. So like doing one of those events, if you want the best food experience of your whole life, is just do an ultra, maybe a marathon, maybe a half marathon, but it's like, or do a long hike for a day or two, like when you're out camping and you're just, oh my God, this is the best food I've ever had in my entire life. Oh, I'm so thankful. Yeah, so that was it. So there's some really nice awards at the end, which you get to sleep and you get to eat all the foods you want.
Running a race like Big's Backyard Ultra seems grueling, but Harvey had so much fun, he's already planning to do it again next year. He also has a handful of other races coming up soon. If you want to keep up with Harvey, you can follow along on his Instagram at Harvey Lewis Ultra Runner. His name is spelled HarveyLewis. If you liked this episode, you should check out our episode with the renowned ultra runner and friend of Harvey, Courtney Dauwalter. We'll link to it in our show notes. Wild Ideas Worth Living is part of the REI Podcast Network. It's hosted by me, Shelby Stanger, produced by Annie Fassler, Sylvia Thomas, and Sam Piers-Nitzberg of Puddle Creative. Our senior producers are Jenny Barber and Hannah Boyd. Our executive producers are Paolo Motola and Joe Crosby. As always, we love it when you follow the show, take time to rate it, and write a review wherever you listen. And remember, some of the best adventures happen when you follow your wildest ideas.